So welcome everybody to our 27th show and tell. So thank you all for coming and avoiding the warnings of flood warnings and other impediments that would keep you from getting here. So first of all, let me just do some introductions of our staff. Obviously, it's me, Associate Director for Entrepreneurship at CMU, and also Director of Project Olympus. With us is Melanie Simcoe, our Senior Project Manager. Melanie is the other one in blue, and we did not call each other this morning, so what are you wearing to show and tell? We just both happened to show up in the same outfits, too. Melanie runs 3 of the programs that you're going to hear about today: our Innovation Commercialization Fellows, our NSFI Core, as well as the Customer Discovery Kickstart. Also with us is Matt Casares, who is our program manager, who is the one who runs our website. He runs the original incubator space that has been around since 2007, which is right over there, and it's about 8,000 square feet, the same as the Swartz Center, but it's differently configured. He manages our website. He does our data tracking and manages our social media. And there in a little box down at the bottom is Reed McManigal, who just walked in, who's waving. He is not with our staff officially. He is with our tech transfer office, but Reed is an integral part of our operations and one of the reasons why I believe we have been so successful. We are also helped in all of our programs with our what we call entrepreneurs in residence. These are the ones that specifically work in our Customer Discovery Kickstarter program. I know I saw a few of them come in, and if you could stand up, Stephen, some of the others who happen to be here, I just want to recognize them because they are integral and show up off the charts as far as ratings from the participants in our program. We also have entrepreneurs in residence that participate with our Innovation Commercialization Fellows. Randy is here. I did see him. So he's sitting next to Stephen. And Sean is the other one. And again, these are the ones with all these have deep expertise in startup worlds and makes the difference in our programs. We also participate in the National Science Foundation I-Corps. And one of the primary requirements is that we have instructors that lead in the teaching and running the breakout rooms and working individually with those who apply to the program. So I don't think Glenn had a leak in his roof. He's not here, and I think Bob is still in California. So sorry they couldn't join us. And then we, of course, have the other part of the Swartz Center staff that are here, and I want to particularly give a shout out to Alex. He's the one that makes this room change from lots of tables and chairs into actually setting this stuff up, and is the one you call when stuff doesn't work. So all these people help to participate, and so we track everything, what I call by the numbers. 2,600 startup founders. These are literally individuals that we have worked with that have been part of the 1,400 plus startups that have applied to to Olympus, out of which were formed 290 companies. And I will just point out that not all ideas, they're great innovations, but they're not necessarily great businesses, so that's why that number drops. Of those, though, that have formed companies, over $805 million of other people's money have somehow been invested or awarded to our startups. And this could be getting investment like from the VCs or angels. It could be winning prizes. It could be getting SBI awards, or it could be, God forbid, revenue, right? And to date, we have had 21 exits or acquisitions. Just to give you an idea of where we stand, last year we had over 150 applications. And we've had a new phenomena that has occurred, and that is that 23% of our applications are actually coming from alumni. And these are alumni. This is not, I'm talking about they graduated in May and they're applying in June. We do have some of those. But we have some that have applied that have never worked with us before. In fact, some of them, they've applied, and we didn't even exist at the time when they were in CMU. And we have one, I will just mention, that he applied and we were working with him. He graduated in 1957. So I just want to tell you, it's never too late. If you have a startup idea and you want some help, we are here to help you. And by the way, on this 150 applications for 2024, we're on our track to actually get to 200. And so Melanie and I are sort of scratching our heads on how we're going to handle all those numbers. Again, we are helped by having what we call subject matter or domain experts. And these are people who have volunteered their time to talk with our startups about various questions all the way from, accounting, bookkeeping, marketing, sales, to specialized domains like African markets, life sciences, you name it. And if we don't have one, I go find them. These are vetted and people who are there to help. And we keep track, or at least Matt does, of the number of hits on this page, and this is a very well-used resource. We have a number of programs, which I'm just going to talk about a little bit as they all come up. So here is the lineup for today. So we work with faculty. And these are, this is where we work very closely with tech transfer. When a faculty or PhD decide that what they want to do is license their intellectual property into a startup company, then they start working with Reed McManical and some of the other CTech staff. Reed will then often introduce them to us because we have programs and resources that could be very helpful. Sean Kelly, we started working with him back in 2015. And since that time, we've had 3 of his PhDs or postdocs that have gone through our programs that have worked on various aspects of his startups. He is a professor and a research faculty in the Biomedical Engineering School, working on medical solutions, I guess is the best word for that, right? And followed by that, we will have 2 people from our NSF I-Corps program. The National Science Foundation has, for example, in 2023, $9.9 billion of money that they award for research. And 25% of that goes to U.S. colleges and universities. And they noticed a while back that from this research, very little was actually getting out to the market. And you and I, as taxpayers, were not benefiting at all from this research. And they said, well, how do we get it out more so that this is then helping society? They did some more research and learned that researchers know how to research. They were clueless on how to start companies. So they put together what is called the NSF I-Corps program, which is a structured program that helps with the very first step of finding product market fit. And that shortly after they formed that program, we signed up to participate. And we had 2 3-year contracts with the NSF where we were under contract to take in 30 teams a year and put them through the rigor of learning that first step of product market fit. 2 years ago, they changed their program around, and we're now part of a hub, but the same thing still applies, that we send the teams to go. And just because we measure everything, that we have put through 240 teams, 133 million in follow-on funding, and 6 teams have had exits. So I'm going to stop there, and we're going to start out with Sean, if you want to come up and...
Yep. All right. Okay. Medical solutions, I like that. I'm going to start using that phrase. So I'm Sean Kelly, co-founder and CEO of Precision Neuroscopics. We are revolutionizing EEG accessibility, availability, and functionality. Specifically, EEG is about 100 years old, and in some aspects, it's sort of stuck 100 years ago. It's used for a number of things, but we think it can be used for a whole lot more. One example is traumatic brain injury. There are about 3 million traumatic brain injury cases that go to the emergency department every year. About 300,000 get admitted to the hospital. Half of those have an ongoing secondary brain injury, a worsening brain condition that's related to the electrochemical effects of the initial injury. We can actually see the signal that's causing this. that's associated with outcomes that are 7 times worse. But it's really hard to determine. Right now, it's not really easy to determine at all who is going to have that secondary injury and who's going to get better if you put them in bed. You can do a CT scan after the fact and tell you, oh, this person already does have a secondary injury. That's not what we want to do. Or you can put electrodes onto the brain surface, onto the cortex. Rip open the skull, put the electrodes down there. That is just not often done. The data analysis is very labor intensive. Obviously, it's very invasive. We're looking for a non-invasive way of doing that. And our solution is this wavefront algorithm to detect this wave that is representative, indicative of this secondary brain injury called cortical spreading depolarization. So we can do this from the scalp non-invasively with EEG, currently using standard density. They only have about 20 electrodes. It gets better when you add more electrodes. But even with 20 electrodes, we have about 98.5% specificity, 74% sensitivity with early human clinical data. So we are the only company anywhere that's done this with real clinical data. We have more and more collaborators. Right now we're working with the Mass General Hospital in Boston who are interested in trying this out. The revenue model for this piece of software is to basically make a license, a monthly license to hospitals, to local clinics, urgent care centers. There are about 6,000 hospitals in the US with 5,000 ICUs. And so with a monthly fee, hospitals might have one in the emergency room, one in the ICU, maybe other places as well. Smaller clinics would pay less. The urgent care centers, there are about 10,000 of those in the US. The current status, this is not our only product. We have a first product that is the Sevo EEG clip for black hair. Turns out EEG doesn't work that well with black hair. We have a clip that drastically improves that. We've had 6 unsolicited sales. We're preparing documents for the FDA and preparing for manufacturing. We have a second product, EEG sponges, that is like an electrode connection to the brain, and there's an EEG company that wants to license and use our sponges. And then the Wavefront software, as I said, is currently validating with human EEG data. This is our team. We've raised about $2 million so far, and we are Precision Neuroscopics, again, revolutionizing EEG. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Oh, no. That's not. Hello, everyone. This is Tartan Weekend, is it not? I've never seen just such, what we call it, low energy. Hello, everyone. Maybe it's the rain. Maybe it's the rain outside that's got everybody a little bit down. But we are Toys Electronics. Multi-generational black engineers that I got to Syracuse at 15, Wale became a Tartan at 15, studying electrical and computer engineering. And Sean was actually his professor, right? So our goal is to democratize our process. Like, is there a formula to actually get young black engineers to schools like Carnegie Mellon at Syracuse at 15? Well, we actually on the cover of Pittsburgh Technology Council's magazine, Tech, and we talk a lot more about it. But yes, there is. So Gen Z is 70 million people, right? But the thing about Gen Z is it's the most diverse group of Americans. You have 49% people of color, 51% white, 33% of them are going to be in the workforce in the next few years, but they lack the technical skills that is leaving from the baby boomers, which is going to create $8.5 trillion in unrealized value over the next 6 years. It's a massive problem. I don't think that we are as shocked about that reality enough. So it's like, well, how do you solve this massive skills gap? Then when you look at the technical fields, AI, real-time 3D, video games, black and Hispanics, even though they're 43% of the population in Gen Z, they're only 15% of the workforce. So we built an immersive learning platform that's in a real-time 3D video game that integrates learning engineering, and we borrowed a tool from the Open Learning Institute, Taurus, and rather than use it the way they use it with Arizona State and Smart Sparrow, we actually use it in a video game that's on Xbox, iOS, macOS, tvOS, Android TV, WebGL, Google TV, and now even it's going to be on Fortnite. So you now have people's gameplay feed you insights on what they like to do, what careers they would have. Then you have an AI model that's developed here on campus, where we've also collaborated and completed a capstone with the Masters of Data Science program, where we're going to have equitable AI inputs, also consulting with HBCUs like Howard, like Texas Southern. Never done like that, right? So you bring in HBCUs, universities like Carnegie Mellon and Syracuse, and founders who have a real story of what we did to get here. Then also bring that into gameplay, and now you'd have the best insights on Gen Z. And how are we sure of that? Well, RK Mellon did a project-related investment December 2021. We were able to do $22,000 in revenue. Innovation Works, and I think Peter is here, they did an investment of 50 at that time, and then 100, and now 150. We were able to get our users on the screen. It says 100 to 8,400. That was a milestone. We're at 10,000 users now. We've gotten from 2 paying customers to 100 paying customers. City of Pittsburgh, PPG Paints, Hyundai. But most importantly are these universities like Penn State, New Kensington, where we actually have a 3D model, a simulation. You have interviews of the director, Sherry, who's also the person who owns the patent on building aluminum in the F-150. People don't even know that about her. You learn about superheroes on our platform, so now you could be what you see, because these are tangible people as you become a superhero yourself. Syracuse is a customer. University of Chicago is a customer. We've even gotten students from HBCUs like Howard to get a PhD offer at University of Chicago after 2 years in our program. Obviously, I got to Syracuse 15, double major mechanical engineering economics, transferred to Howard. I'm also a Bison, won engineering competitions. Wale got here at 15. He was also on 20 under 20 Transforming Tomorrow with Peter Thiel. You know, people like Figma, like Ethereum were in the same cohort as Wale, and graduated at 20 with an electrical and computer engineering degree, and also 2 minors in business. Dave was one of his professors, so he got a minor. First IDA class, Entrepreneurship for Creative Industries, Business Administration, so 2 minors in Tepper. We also have Quincy, who's a longtime partner of mine in some of my other ventures. And he works with people like, you know, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, so that our ability to get to millions in Gen Z is understood. And then, obviously, Drew Davison, who helped us build the MVP of our product that allowed us to even get funding. So it's easy to see how everyone benefits from toys. So we want all of you to join us to empower Black and brown students. Let's make the future of work inclusive of everyone. And do come by. We have our flyers. We have a demo of our game. I have my card. We have our programs. You could talk about collaborations. We love collaborating with people on research. MIT Solve finalists, Anti-Racist Tech, IDEO, Design and Digital Thriving finalists. So we always love to collaborate, participate with people, and bring our insights so that we could spread the heart is in the work, and also the spirit of Andrew Carnegie and Booker T. Washington's work, upskilling former enslaved people, to now transform that to upskilling descendants of former enslaved people to be able to be in industries like AI, real-time 3D, advanced manufacturing, and a lot of things we do here on campus like robotics. Thank you very much.
Taylor. So I just want to acknowledge that is a father and son team of one port, and Damali actually is a hip hop star, and if the only person that holds the microphone correctly but doesn't need it. So,
welcome. My name is Taylor Poole. I'm here from Aquatonomy, and I'm excited to share with you our team's vision for what the future of underwater intelligence looks like. Here on the right, you can see a picture of the Kinswa Dam. This is a dam not far from us here in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. Inspecting this structure is vitally important to the national security of the United States. It holds over 1.5 billion gallons of water in it, and it takes over 300 person-hours to inspect. This requires a team of about 8 people. Inspection of this kind of dam here is something that requires extreme precision as well as large and costly safety measures. The current status quo is inefficient as it requires underwater divers in pairs of 2 to descend below the water's surface and to inspect areas on the dam that may or may not be dangerous due to intake valves, as well as have high turbidity and thus low visibility. Coming back from these dives, the photographers will then assemble a PDF containing 2-dimensional information about the dam and then send that over to these civil engineering firms, who then have to decipher the information from a limited format and make informed decisions about which parts of the dam need repairs and which parts are okay for the future. So enter the Aquatonomy transformation. This represents a holistic paradigm to the way that we collect and understand the information of these dams and other underwater structures. It starts by recognizing that our customers are interested in a more interactive model of the dam itself. Our millimeter precision 3D reconstruction technology allows us to achieve unprecedented levels of information that's not only 10x more accurate, but also 10x cheaper. Why is it cheaper? Well, because the way that we collect this is through our underwater autonomous robot, meet Proteus. Proteus represents the state-of-the-art in autonomous technology that's only possible because of the expertise of our team. We are a small team right now, but we're a small team that has accomplished great things in the past. Our co-founders here, Michael, Josh, and Xiaoyu, represent pushing the boundaries in artificial intelligence and robotics. Specifically, Michael has spent the last 15 years conducting research in the underwater space, not just with regards to visual information, but also with regards to sonar reconstruction of underwater environments. Our strategy is to develop this robot. Not only, the robot is merely a vehicle for the information that we carry. So the robot makes more sense for us to sell as a service because our customers are more interested in the data than they are in the methodology. We plan to start a paid pilot program in the near future, and we also expect to launch our fully featured product that represents our data portal for the customers by the end of 2025. Our current status is as follows. We're located actually in TechForge. That's on 47th Street over in Lawrenceville. We have a really great setup there as part of the inaugural cohort of the robotics factory. This includes a test tank where we can test algorithms for our autonomous robot, as well as showcase some of our most recent results from some of the 3D scans that we collected at a quarry not too far here from Pittsburgh. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our pitch, and we hope to connect with you further as we explore Aquatonomy's vision for the future. Thank you.
So I have one very important thing that I did not do, and I want to remedy it now. Everything you just heard and you're going to be hearing going in the future is because of one person. And this is Lenore Blum, who had the initial vision for this, got the funding for it, got it started, and even though I don't know she's actually run a business, but she is a true entrepreneur, and she happens to be with us today. So, Lenore, I'm going to make you stand. I'm sorry, waving is not good enough. And if you haven't, go look her up. Look at her Wikipedia page and what everybody else says. You will see program after program. She's been a pioneer in so much, too. I'm just so glad that I was able to, she hired me, and I've been able to work with her. The next part of our program is going to cover two of our programs, too. Thanks to charitable contributions from our alumni, we were able to give small microgrants or spark grants to our startups, currently at $3,000. And you've all heard the story that students can do a lot with just a little bit of money, and this is true. This money is to help at the earliest stage to overcome a barrier, to reach a milestone, particularly in the customer discovery phase. We measure everything by the numbers. 71 teams have been awarded $252,000 worth of Spark grants. They have had follow-on funding of up $114 million, and 7 teams have had exits. So that little bit of money goes a long, long way. Maximilian is going to give an example of our Spark grant, and he used his money to go to an event that he could then do more research on his target market, as well as he gained very valuable visibility for his program. He currently has space in Olympus, but he's sharing it right now because he just got into Alpha Lab Gear program. So, and I wanted to mention aquatonomy. Taylor, you all are in the robotics factory. So this is often what happens to our startups, particularly when they go through our programs, they move on. So we will be then followed by 2 other participants from the Innovation Commercialization Fellows. This is our only endowed program where the fellows who are selected, it is competitive, receive a $50,000 stipend, but requiring also a $50,000 match from their department. It is a year-long program where we help these mostly PhDs, but not always, who are exploring the commercial potential of licensed IP from CMU. So we actually not only help them find product market fit, but we also help them that early stages of how to start and run a company. And again, because we measure everything, 43 fellowships have been awarded, $48 million in follow-up funding has been awarded to our fellows. 73% are still active, which is a phenomenally large number if you're familiar with this business of startups. And 27% of the representatives are from STEM, underrepresented minority groups. So I'm going to ask Maximilian, Ray, and Jay to come on up so you can go real quick. So Maximilian, you're on first.
Is this thing on? Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Maximilian Abasiolu, and I'm the founder of Lead and Record Co., and our mission is empowering independent artists. So this is going to shock you, but in recent years, vinyl record sales have grown exponentially, and the reason why is because streaming just doesn't work for artists. The profit an artist makes from selling 100 records is equal to 300,000 streams, so think about that for a little bit. And the pandemic had really proved that consumers wanted to monetarily support artists that they like. Despite demand being so high, supply is at an all-time low, with only one global manufacturer supporting the supply chain for vinyl records. That's why during the pandemic, it took up to 12 months for artists to get their records made, and now it takes closer to 6 months because the supply chain has settled. But instead of pressing, what we're doing at Lead-In is a different process called lathe cutting, where we directly cut the music into the record. And what we envision is building out a fleet of these automated lathe cutters to manufacture records at scale for independent artists. By doing that and working with local manufacturers, we can get lead times down from 6 months to 1 week, which is 25 times faster. And if we build an even bigger fleet, we can get that even faster to 24-hour turnaround time. And by doing this process, that'll allow us to do 3 things. 1, lower barrier of entry to artists that couldn't get records made before. 2, manufacture our records sustainably and out of eco-friendly materials. And 3, produce minimal waste because we manufacture on a demand-based model. So the global vinyl record industry is valued at $3.5 billion, but if you look even closer, the independent label and artist market is valued at $10.8 billion. Independent labels and artists are the fastest growing segment in music right now, and vinyl record manufacturing doesn't match that growth due to supply chain issues. However, with our manufacturing process, we're poised to enable the latent demand in the independent market. So our focus is on independent artists first because they're the ones that are closest to the problem. What we essentially do is connect these artists with their fans and then get a cut of their record sales. And our plan to attain scale is working with independent labels eventually and then major labels. We achieved some really great traction so far. Like Kit mentioned, we started at Project Olympus in August of 2022, and we got a Spark grant, which was really helpful. That helped us build our first working MVP and throw an event at South by Southwest. That event at South by Southwest in 2023 was pivotal for us because we got a 300-person wait list of artists that wanted to join our service, and we had conversations with folks at major labels like Warner Music and Sony Music about how we could enable their physical manufacturing strategies. Most recently, we were funded by Alpha Lab Gear, and we finished that program at the end of May. We're a small but mighty team of musicians and engineers, and we have experience working and building on physical and digital products across companies like Google, AData, Salesforce, and Tesla. And our ask is just intros to the music industry as we launch our first pilot by the end of the year and build out our high-fidelity prototype. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I know we just had the solar eclipse a few days ago, which is very exciting. I know that looks like a little bit like an eclipse, but that's not what this pitch is about. The large circle here actually represents the $5.5 trillion global raw material market. And the smaller circle inset inside of it represents the $32 billion global recycled material market. And so when you hear people talk about things like sustainable industry and circular economies, what they're really implying is that we're going to grow that $32 billion recycled material market to meet the needs of the 200 times larger global raw material market. My name is Jay Mayer, and I'm here to talk to you today about how my company, Three Rivers Material Separation, is leveraging artificial intelligence for process control in order to support growing the capacity of the recycling market. So the beating heart of the recycling industry is this facility called a material recovery facility, pronounced MRF. And basically what happens is you have trucks coming in on one side full of mixed material, and then the material goes through this crazy network of conveyor belts and sorting machines, and then leaves the plant on the other side as pure material commodity streams that are then sold in the open market. The problem with this is, I mean, if you're familiar with the game Mousetrap from growing up, in order to do well at Mousetrap, everything needs to be perfectly in sync. And that's really the same problem that these material recovery facilities have. The process is incredibly dependent on a good tune. So what they do is they'll do a study where they take the average yearly flow through the facility. So they'll say, the city of Pittsburgh creates 20% cans, 30% bottles, and they optimize their process around that average flow. But the problem is that this average flow looks very different from the actual flow at any given minute. In fact, right, yeah, so like you'll have, after a big football game, you'll have trucks completely full of aluminum cans and pizza boxes, and it like totally destroys the ability of the plant to manage the material. And this specific problem is expected to cost American recyclers roughly $3 billion a year in efficiency hits. So what do? We install a network of cameras, and we use computer vision in order to measure the actual state of the material flowing through the facility. And then we feed that into an artificial intelligence agent and use that to do on-the-fly process control. So we built an experimental conveyor belt-based sorting system here at CMU. And our initial prototype tech shows a 40% increase in throughput just based on tuning the process parameters based on what the actual material flow is, which is an absolutely massive throughput increase for a facility like this. We're working on our first equipment installation at a pilot plant that should be coming online in the next couple weeks. So we'll see how this tech transitions from the lab out into the real world.
And we're working on 2 more pilot studies over the next few months with a plan to ramp up technical hiring towards the end of the year. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ray. I'm the CTO and co-founder of NovoLink. We mainly developed a next-generation material specifically for chip cooling. So we hear a lot of AI stories today, even today, right? So we know the fast development of AI has generated huge amount of needs in computation power, and that has further pushed the fast development of global data center markets to grow at over 20% annually. As many people may have not noticed that data centers in the world consume more electricity than an entire country. So numerically, it's 1 to 1.3% global electricity consumption annually. And while 40% of that is used for data center cooling. Therefore, the pressure to make data center more sustainable is high. In modern data centers, no matter based on the air cooling, direct liquid cooling, or even the up-to-date immersion cooling, there will always be a thermal interface exist between the chip and the heat sink. That is an inescapable barrier for heat to be efficiently dissipated from the chip to the surrounding or to the air. Especially with the fast development of the immersion cooling in the next few years, the resistance at thermal interface is becoming more critical than ever, even dominate the whole chip cooling process. However, the existing materials in the market, like thermal pads or thermal pastes, have low performance and poor reliability, mainly because their intrinsic material composition of the polymer and the conductive fillers. At a higher level, NovoLink developed a nanostructured metal film that link the interface and act as the efficient heat flow passes. Therefore, it gives 10 to 100 times better thermal performance as compared to the existing products. Even comparing with the best product in the market, under an ASTM standard test, our material is still 5 times better in performance, but at a comparable cost. So with our material applied in the data centers in the world, we can save up to $1 billion for electric bills for the operation of data centers, which is equivalent to 4.5 million tons of carbon dioxide emission. Or if we think from different angle, that the higher cooling performance allow us to build less data centers because we can extract more performance from the same chip. Our team has more than 10 years deep dive in the thermal interface material field, with 3 generations of inventions supported by over 4 million federal grants. To finish, NovoLink, we are focusing on heat dissipation, decarbonization, and sustainability. AI is transforming the future of human beings, and NovoLink is founding a sustainable future of AI. Thank you.
So, the last program that we're going to be showcasing today is our Customer Discovery Kickstart, which is our newest program that is only a few years old. Back in 2021, 22, NSF changed the rules who could participate in their NSFI core program, and it was limited only to those teams that were commercializing university IP. So what happens to all the students that went through our program? That same year, we had 3 exits. All 3 were students who all had their own intellectual property, who had gotten their start through then the NSFI core. So Melanie Simcoe, our senior program manager, put together a program that simulates what is taught in the NSFI core that is specifically devoted to students or anybody or former students who own their own intellectual property. It is a 4-week program. During that time, you are assigned a dedicated EIR who works with you and will continue to work with you afterwards if you choose. It is basically the same thing to teach you the methodology to assess whether your idea has commercial potential. So your obligation is to do 20 interviews. And we have a range of examples on these 5 that are coming up. And actually, I think Dee, Logan, Sophia, Thomas, and Tess, come on up here and just sort of get in a row there as I talk about it too. So we have all the way from Thomas, who was a first-year undergrad, and you're going to see the amazing thing he came up, all the way to alums who was a husband and wife team that came back, and we never worked with you when you were here. So this is all new. They went through the program. We've continued to work with them. Some have also received Spark grants, so you'll find there's an awful lot of overlap within our programs. So we're just going to rapidly go through, and we'll start out with Guy. There you go.
Hello guys, we're Moss. We want to make farming fun and easy. So this is the future that we all want. It's abundant, balanced, and biodiverse. But sadly, this is what we have today. We have monocrop systems, exploited land, and it's just not sustainable. But honestly, we don't know how to get from here to there. Because, as we all know, farms exist with nature. They're full of live beings. And there are just too many things happening, too many things that can go wrong. And it is hard to keep track of everything that matters. So that's why we propose data-driven truth through robotics and AI, so that we can help support our farmers to make the transitions out of those unsustainable practices with more confidence and control. And we want to do that and also make farming fun and easy for not just farmers today, but also farmers in the future with 3 simple steps: collect, manage, and predict. Our ultimate goal is to have these foundational farm models that can not only model the crops for farmers, but also model their entire farm as ecosystems. And we all know that to do that, we need to collect huge quantity of high-quality, real-world data, and we need to have domain experts. That's why we're building these sensor kits, scouting robots to collect data, and building our own AI expert systems, and leveraging large language models to interact with data. And out of all the markets that we can work with today, we carefully selected tree nurseries as our first market. Not only because they're a $1 billion market with extremely high value crop that's worth $100,000 per acre, but also because people in this industry are strongly resonate with our vision, and they're very excited about what we can bring. To start with, we're solving this seemingly humble task of inventory management for them. We're increasing their inventory data collection process by 10 times in terms of speed, and we're decreasing that error margin from an untraceable error margin that is at least 10% down with a traceable error margin within 3%. And for this service, we're charging $15,000 per hardware unit and a varied price of 10 to 50 cents per plant. And in this service alone, the total market is $1.2 billion. This is our traction so far. We have raised about $300,000 for our pre-seed funding. And just recently, we gained our first 3-year paid pilot contract with one of the largest tree nursery in the US, who grows about 9 to 12 million trees every year. This is our team. We're a very young team with strong engineering background and fresh perspectives. And we're very excited to help solve this one of the most pressing issues of our time. And now we're looking for introductions to seed investors and more talent in robotics and AI. Thank you.
As somebody who grew up on a farm, I love seeing stuff like that. That's really cool. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Logan Nye. I am one of the founders of Galen Health. My co-founder and CTO, Kshagra, is also here in the front row. And we are making AI for early detection of pancreatic cancer. That's our focus for right now. A little bit about myself. I'm a physician by training. I graduated from medical school in 2022, and I spent a year at Harvard Medical School working on clinical AI the following year, just before coming here. And I saw that there is this need all over the world for specialized insights, medical diagnostic capabilities, and AI as a way to democratize that. So I came here to Carnegie Mellon. I'm getting a master's in computer science, and Kshagra and I are trying to bring AI as a solution to cancer care, starting first. Pancreatic cancer, if you're familiar with it, you know that it's a terrible disease. About 500,000 people die from it every year, and it has a 5-year survival rate of a little bit less than 10% now. So early detection can make a huge difference for this particular disease. So we're building AI for early detection. Our platform is called OncoSight. Basically what we do is we take the AI analytics to the electronic health record to screen patients digitally, and we do this over time using all the many data points and all the signal that's in the electronic health record. EHRs are virtually ubiquitous, not just in the US where it has 96% penetrance, but in other countries as well. So we see it as an ideal way to make sure that everybody gets screening, building solutions that plug directly into that rich data source. And our hope is that by bringing these analytics to the patients in the EHR, removing all friction points, we make it so that everybody, everywhere, is able to get screened and is watched over. So our revenue model is going to be an enterprise sales, like enterprise SaaS model. We're going to license our technology to hospitals and cancer centers, healthcare IT systems, in other words, electronic health record companies that show interest in partnering with us, and then also to insurers and payers. If you saw on the first slide, there's actually a huge market potential for the early detection that also interests the insurance companies as well. Early detection is about a $900 million annual problem in the US alone, just for pancreatic cancer. So as we expand into other diseases as well, it'll capture the attention of insurance companies. So our current status, we are partnering with research organizations such as PanCAN, Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. That's the largest research organization for pancreatic cancer. And we are slated to get into UPMC's systems by July 1st. And we also have other interests and scheduled meetings with healthcare networks all over the country, including Common Spirit, which is the second largest healthcare network in the US with over 140 hospitals, 700 care sites across 21 states. So there's lots of opportunity here. And that is us. So Kushagra and I will be around. We would love to meet with anybody that's interested in applying AI to medical problems and solving big challenges. So thank you.
My name is Thomas Cans. I'm an undergraduate artificial intelligence student here at CMU, and I'm here today to talk about Velroy. So there are over 18 million college students in the United States, yet they all face a similar issue of having to find and search for classes that meet their interests. But the problem is non-trivial, because most universities have terrible course catalogs. People know what I'm talking about. So for example, we can look at the UPIC catalog or even CMU's official schedule of classes. And clearly there's a UI design problem, but that's not the biggest, that's not the biggest issue though here. Really, it's the search is really terrible and doesn't work well. For example, if I put in introductory entrepreneurship here into the schedule of classes search, you'd expect to get like results. It's a very fair prompt, right? But I actually get no results. And this is a problem because students can't find the classes that they need here. And I actually found that this problem exists across the country at different universities. That they have bad UI, UX, and bad search functionality. So the solution is to create a better course catalog experience for students that incorporates a modern UI, UX design principles, a natural language semantic search, and generative AI course recommendations. So the solution I came up with, this is a picture of an MVP I have. It's a real MVP. It runs on over 6,000 courses offered at CMU. And I put in the same prompt, introduction to entrepreneurship, introductory entrepreneurship that I had up before. But this time I get back a whole bunch of results that are highly relevant, from entrepreneurship for computer science all the way to datapreneurship. All these great entrepreneurship classes offered at CMU that I would have never known had existed if I did not perform the search. And what do I mean by providing excellent search? Because that's what I'm really striving to do with Velroy for students. It means that you can have typos in your query and still get back results. It means that you don't need to know the exact keywords to get the course to pop up. And this means that you can interact in a very intuitive and natural language manner with the course search. For example, I could ask, like, I want to learn about artificial intelligence, but I have no prior experience. What course should I take? So a very complex query, and I can put it in and I get results that matter to me, such as demystifying AI or human-AI interaction. And I get up a whole list of these highly relevant results that really speak to me as a student. So right now, my goal is to work with universities to work directly to be the best point solution possible for course catalogs. And currently, I've participated in Project Olympus's Customer Discovery Kickstart program, and I'm developing and refining my solution from a functional MVP that you saw to a high-fidelity, scalable software product. So thank you. I'd be happy to talk with you during the networking event, and you can actually test out the demo that I have. Thank you.
Oh, okay, it's on. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, there's this. You start.
Hi, I'm Frank.
And I'm Tess. We're founders of Fine Art Miracles and our spin-off FamBots. Every 65 seconds, someone in the United States is diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. But that's only half of the problem. This means every 65 seconds, someone else has the role of care partner thrust upon them. And this is a role that will follow them from diagnosis until the end of life of their loved one. The numbers say it all. Oops, there. The numbers say it all. There's an average of more than 2 care partners for every person who has Alzheimer's disease. You're most likely to play one, or let's face it, both roles at some point in your life. When surveyed, care partners say that the biggest challenge they have is to find a safe, purposeful activity for their loved one, something that they can engage with independently and that will hold their attention for a period of time. Our solution?
BabyBot. We combine the human-robot interaction with the aspect of caring for a baby in a soft, huggable BabyBot, and we're testing it right now. Walking the line between robot and baby, this little creature inspires verbalization, reduces anxiety, can trigger memories, and bring smiles to all faces. Care partners benefit as well as their loved ones, seeing the joy their loved ones experience in getting some respite. If it's 15 minutes or 50, it's all good. We're currently testing BabyBot both in nursing homes and individual families. If you'd like to participate or learn more about us, come visit us. Thank you.
So I would like just to iterate on that too, that Tess and Frank are looking for people who may be one of your family members. No charge to you. We'll have a trained therapist come to your home and let you try the BabyBot. So we are looking for people, if you can, to sign up, to show up in there. So the last presentation we have is Christine Ferguson. So you have seen a great snapshot of different technologies that are coming out of CMU and the companies that they form. You heard about the money we were bringing in. This money is being used to hire people, create jobs, and to grow our economy. But that doesn't stop here on campus. In order to have a vibrant region, we need to have entrepreneurship thrive outside of the university. In 2021, the university leadership, understanding the need to extend to help grow this population, awarded some money, and then had the wisdom to hire Christine to create, organize, and run this program. So there is data that shows that 64% of the net new jobs come from startups and small businesses. Less than 3% come from the well-established large organizations that are around here now. So Christine, if you read about her a little bit, you will see that her consulting company works with small companies and nonprofits. She helps with financial planning, operational strategies to help them grow. And she has had phenomenal success, so I suggest, definitely encourage you to look up and learn more about her. But I will tell you something that does not exist on her LinkedIn, and you won't see it, and you only find that out through meeting her. She is one of those people that when you sit down and have the glass of wine or the cup of coffee, you could talk all day. It is just, it's a very natural and engaging. But also, you will find, and these are the words I use to describe her, she is not only passionate about what she's doing, but she's also kind and compassionate. She genuinely cares about the people.
Thank you, Kit, very much. As an alumna of this fabulous university and someone who has been active in many different aspects of the educational process for decades, it was a rare honor and a joy to be able to stand up a new program in 2021 to give a little bit back to the communities that border our fair campus here in Pittsburgh. We talk a lot about entrepreneurship here. I've started 3 companies of my own. I help other people scale their companies. But there are a lot of folks that have companies in this community who don't have access to the fabulous resources that we have here. Actually, they do have access to them, but they don't know it. So it was just a wonderful experience to be able to build a bridge to communities that border our campus, people living a mile from here, who don't know that they're welcome here and that there are wonderful resources here, or didn't know, to help them grow their businesses, which are employing lots of people right here in the city. Pittsburgh's been an incredibly supportive environment for Carnegie Mellon to grow. I was a freshman in 1978, and I can promise you the university is very different today than when I set foot here. So I'd like to tell you a little something about the program that I was fortunate enough to stand up with my colleague Donald Bonk, who is here, thank you. We called it Strength in Numbers for a number of reasons, because we were focusing on the financial aspect of companies, which is essential for them to scale, and also because we were bringing together a cohort of entrepreneurs to support one another, as well as a great number of Carnegie Mellon volunteers, alumni mentors, to help these companies scale. So let me tell you a little bit about what we did. So the idea was to build capacity in women and minority-owned businesses in under-resourced communities that border our campus. The 2 communities that were chosen, and I had nothing to do with it, it came down from on high, were Wilkinsburg and Homewood. So the goal that Carnegie Mellon presented to me was, we will feel successful if you can get 10 companies to join in this cohort, and we can test this thesis that we have the tools and the ability to help these companies prosper. I'm happy to report that we got 17 companies. And I don't have a timeline here, but the university asked me to do this in the first week of August of 2021, and we kicked off the program September 29th. So that's how much time we had to develop the curriculum, get the companies, get the mentors, get the volunteers. It was quite the lift. We did have 17 active companies, and we did an intake survey of the companies to say, what are your biggest challenges? And of the 17 companies, 100% said access to credit, funding. And I think anybody with a startup understands it's just that the funding sources sometimes are different. When you're at Carnegie Mellon and you can get venture capital funding or angel investment funding, or if you're lucky enough, friends and family. So how do we do this? So we have these wonderful companies. We've got 17 companies. We have the support of the university. We even had funding. Now, I understood very well that if those folks were invited to CMU, if we just did what we normally do, send them an email and say, we're going to be here on Tuesday night at 6, come on and join us, we will get this many people, 0. Because they live a mile away. If they were going to come here, they would have come already. So we really had to give them a warm welcome. And to be honest with you, when I spoke to these companies, and I spoke to all of them, they weren't really sure we were sincere. They thought, yeah, we always have universities coming to talk to us, and they come in and they do a test and they take our time. They don't even bother to come back and tell us what happened. So I wouldn't say that they were jumping with joy when we showed up. I thought I was coming with a great gift, and they thought, maybe not so much. So we had to do something a little bit more welcoming. So first of all, we developed relationships by breaking bread. So instead of saying, just walk in the front door of the Tepper School of Business at Carnegie Mellon, we went and picked them up. So I'm very grateful to Dave Mawhinney and this university because they allowed me to hire luxury coach buses to go to Homewood and Wilkinsburg. And they gave me funding to host dinners in venues in these communities, owned by cohort companies in our program and catered by companies in those communities. Not only that, but Dave attended, I attended, Donald attended, our mentors attended. People from the university came out in numbers to go and have dinner with these folks. So we sat down, and they didn't know any of us. They'd met me, and that was it. But they met us all in a welcoming environment in their community. They broke bread with us. And then they got on this luxury coach to bring them to our fair university. So let me tell you that when everybody got on that bus, it was like a funeral. You could have heard a pin drop. There was no conversation. It was a bunch of very uncomfortable people thinking, what have I gotten myself into? So we drive on the bus, we come here right here, we pull up, and we all get off the bus together, and we all walk into the Swartz Center for Entrepreneurship together. And when they got here, the first part, we did this 4 times, once a month. We had an evening together, 3 hours. It included corporate finance instruction that I taught. I teach here, I've been an instructor of corporate finance at the Tepper School for undergrad since the 90s. I'm a consultant on those kinds of corporate finance issues. I help companies get ready to raise funding. I have 4 Connects talks that you can go look me up on the YouTube channel and read about them. And so we spent 1 hour on curriculum. And then we had presentations. And we had presentations by wonderful minority entrepreneurs in our community who came and on a pro bono basis came and spoke to the cohorts, because a lot of times it's great to see other people who have been successful, who are part of your community, and who care enough about you to come and talk about what they've done. So Jonae Solomon, who is a very well-known serial entrepreneur here in Pittsburgh, who had she's had several fabulous companies and is now an angel investor. She came and spoke very inspirationally to the cohort. Kia Tomlin, who is the wife of Mike Tomlin, the head of the Steelers, he's our Steelers coach. She's a wonderful designer, and she produces her clothing line right here in factories in Pittsburgh using, right now, Afghan immigrants. It's wonderful. She came and spoke, and then our friend Damola and Wally Adowu, who just presented, they also helped us and were extremely, extremely inspirational. And then to make connections for these folks with sources of capital, we had representatives from Bridgeway Capital and Huntington Bank come and present to our cohort. Then, and this was the Carnegie Mellon magic, each one of our cohort companies, all 17 of them, got 2 mentors. 80% of them were Carnegie Mellon alumni, many of them from Tepper. Each mentor gave each cohort company, they committed to 12 hours of pro bono consulting during 4 months, the 4 months of this program. So 2 mentors per company, so these companies got 24 hours of pro bono consulting, one-on-one. They went and met with the companies where they were, and they talked about what problems they specifically had and addressed them. And I owe a debt of gratitude to John Sangenberger, the head of alumni relations at the Tepper School of Business, because he got me 17 mentors in a week. It was amazing. I called him up and said, this is what I need. And all of a sudden, my email was filled with people volunteering from around the country to help these companies. So, our program impact. I can tell you with authority that we did build capacity in local businesses. We demonstrated that the Swartz Center, these fabulous resources we have here, can also be used outside of CMU and can benefit companies in our community that maybe don't have the benefit or good fortune to be a student here. We built community among local businesses. A lot of our cohort companies had been working for 10 years within blocks of each other and did not know one another. So they met one another here, and that network remains, and they continue to help one another, and that's good for Pittsburgh. We gave alumni an opportunity to be of service to companies in Pittsburgh and to do something for Carnegie Mellon that did not involve writing a check, and they were very pleased. And I can't tell you how much the work that they did not only benefited the companies, but benefited them. By having 2 mentors for each company, the mentors formed relationships that have lasted. I have been invited to other cities to visit with some of the mentors. I have engaged with their companies. They've engaged with one another. It's been amazing. And then we demonstrated that Carnegie Mellon does care about the companies in our community. So I'm going to show you now some testimonials from some of the folks. I know that I am the last thing standing between you and something to eat and drink. So I ask for your indulgence of 5 more minutes while I show you the results of this wonderful program. Let's see if I can make this happen without too much trouble. Okay. Here we go.
My name is Emmett Wilson.
Nope, I'm not there.
I am the owner of Golden Triangle Distribution.
It's not showing on the screen. Thank you. Pardon? I don't want any of that. Yeah, there we go. I want this guy. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
My name is Emmett Wilson. I am the owner of Golden Triangle Distributors, Inc. We're in the Homewood area. We've been in business since 2015. I was introduced to the CMU Swartz Strength in Numbers program cohort for small businesses. I've been in with other colleges. I've been to cohorts in the past. And after finishing up this program, I found it to be more focused on the financial aspect of my business. You know, they didn't bombard us with things that were not going to impact the business in a positive way. So after finishing this cohort, I have to give praise. It's all due to these people who came out and helped my business to actually, it gave me an identity. It showed me, you know, where I was at, what I was doing wrong, and things that just needed to be tweaked. They teamed me up with some really, really great mentors. I mean, these people are amazing. They're incredible. You know, we have Barry Rabkin, Jamil Francis. They teamed us up with some students. We actually went into my POS programming. Lydia Seedor, she helped me with that. It's just incredible. And I mean, it really helps when you have brilliant minds put together for the help, for the use of people like me. It's been really helpful. We have my inventory under control. We're figuring out what packages sell the best for me, which ones are profitable, which ones are just lost leaders. So it opened my eyes to have me understand more about my business and how it operates.
Hello everyone, my name is Jill Smallwood. I'm the owner and operator of J. Coco Hauling LLC. There's so many things that I didn't know as a business person. And one of those was the finances behind the business. Luckily, I was chosen to participate in the program Strength in Numbers. And it really made a difference because of the education that they gave me in a short period of time. I was able to go and obtain a line of credit from one of our local banks. I'm standing out here at this location because behind me is a major project that I was working on. This is the new flagship store for Whole Foods. This was a big deal to me as an entrepreneur. I thank you, Strength in Numbers, for all you've done. Not just for me, but for all of my class participants. I'm sure if they could be here today, they would say the same.
I'm Nicholas Arouse. I'm the CEO of Caswell Massey in New York, and I'm a 1993 graduate of Carnegie Mellon University. This past fall, I had a great opportunity to participate in the CMU Swartz Center, Center for Entrepreneurship's Strength in Numbers program, and I was paired up with Jessica at Una Biologicals. And it's a great opportunity after a few decades in business and having a lot of success with successful brands. This was a great opportunity to give back to the community through the university where I learned so much and where I got my foundation, and then to give back knowledge and share my experience with young entrepreneurs, specifically women and minority entrepreneurs in the Pittsburgh area. Really proud of the work we were able to do, and of course we learned something too as a business when you talk to other entrepreneurs, because even though our business is 270 years old, we're still learning. We're always still students, no matter how long we've been in business. So it's really proud to be part of this program. I think it's a wonderful program. We certainly want to continue to support it and really share the experiences in business so that we can benefit others and help them be successful as well.
When I think about the Swartz Center Strength in Numbers program, I think about, Carnegie Mellon University creating a bridge between the university and communities that are around the school. I was thrilled and excited to volunteer and assist and to essentially take what I've learned from attending Tepper School of Business and imparting that knowledge to business owners who are working with who are minority and women enterprises in the Wilkinsburg and Homewood neighborhood. And these are great people that are working hard every day to build sustainable businesses. For our group, we worked with Golden Triangle Distributors, headed by Emmett Wilson. And we focused on helping him to improve his financial management through improving his inventory management systems. And so, we collaborated, with Don and Christine, and also the undergrad consulting club. And I think we were able to make an impact on Emmett and his business. It's been a great experience, and and I know that you won't be disappointed after volunteering.
Thank you so much for letting me share this program.
So first of all, can we just give a round of applause to all of our presenters? And I hope you will take time during the networking session. Just all the presenters have tables, but we also have a number that are listed here of those that we cannot put everybody on the program tonight. But before we adjourn, I have just one brief announcement. I started working at Olympus in 2008. And after 16 years, I'm announcing my retirement at the end of August. So don't feel bad. I'm still going to be around for a while anyway, too, and we'll be posting the job somewhere around the end of April. There will be a selection committee, et cetera, et cetera. So, but that doesn't mean I stop my relationships with folks. I've already committed to going on. So just please step out and enjoy yourself. There's some refreshments out there as well as our presenters. So.
Round of applause for Nick.